Coming up on First at 4, as we brace for the bitter cold, we stop by one homeless shelter to see how they are preparing.
Plus, we could see one of the coldest Christmases on record for the region. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Before we talk weather, just a quick note. We are on standby for President Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to hold a joint news conference, and we will take you to some of that live when it begins. It should start at any moment if they're on time. Well, we are also watching a weather system closely that's expected to bring frigid temperatures and the potential for a little bit of snow at least. We have issued a first alert weather day to help you prepare. Let's head over to meteorologist Cameron Aaron for the latest, and we have a new advisory out, right, Cameron?
Yeah, about 10 minutes ago, the National Weather Service in Jackson issued a winter weather advisory for most of the region. We'll take a look at that here in a second. But first, let's go over to Buffalo Mountain this afternoon. Not a first alert weather day because it looks great out there, but we're still pulling that trigger because we want to give you the heads up that we are tracking a major weather system by Thursday night into your Friday. And over at I-75 in Corbin, traffic is running smoothly. 51 degrees right now over in Corbin. Lower 50s for many locations, upper 40s for some people as well. 47 for Jackson, 51 for Clintwood, 53 for Manchester, and 52 over in Williamsburg. Actually above average for many people this afternoon. And up on Pinpoint Doppler, also looking at a clean sweep. So we are dry this afternoon, and that will continue into this evening, but those changes are on the way, all thanks to this area of low pressure that is moving into our direction right now. It's producing some snowfall over portions of the northern Great Plains. But like we said, a new winter weather advisory was issued for all the counties in purple, and that will last through Friday morning. So we'll talk much more details on that here in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. A warning for holiday travelers, not just in Kentucky. It could be tough to get where you want to be. We're in for nasty weather across a wide swath of the country, and we're talking rain, snow, and a bitter cold blast during the next several days. The timing is incredible, and not in a good way, with nearly 113 million Americans expected to travel for the holidays, more than 1/3 of the population. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is at Washington's Reagan National Airport.
This morning, the storm that made driving dangerous in the Pacific Northwest.
Pretty icy and pretty slick. Yeah, super slick. It was going like this.
And canceled about 200 flights in and out of Seattle's airport Tuesday, is just getting started. The system is now lining up to bring crippling snow and frigid temperatures to major Midwest airport hubs in Detroit, Minneapolis, and Chicago.
I really don't want to miss Christmas with my two boys and my husband.
Kelsey Hicks is trying to beat the storm that could steal Christmas. She's at a conference in Chicago and moved up her flight to Thursday morning, hoping to beat the snow and get back to her family in Arkansas.
I'm a little nervous that things aren't going to work out like I hoped they would.
165 million Americans coast to coast are in the path of this blast of winter weather, hitting just days before Christmas.
I'm glad I'm leaving today.
Dumping snow in the Midwest, and will head as far south as Texas, just as an estimated 113 million are expected to travel for the holidays.
If you're flying, be prepared to be delayed, disrupted, and canceled. And Christmas dinner may be at an airport.
But most Americans will be hitting the road, with nearly 102 million expected to be driving, including Mike Carter's son, who's trying to beat the storm home to Chicago.
We don't want anything to happen to our holiday plans. That's the whole scary part. Otherwise, we'll have 10 tons of food at home with nobody to eat it.
Why is it such a big deal that Chicago is getting snow right at this peak travel time? It's because it's a huge connecting city. 3 of the nation's 4 biggest airlines have hubs there. United told us during Thanksgiving that about 1 in every 5 of its passengers somehow pass through O'Hare during that holiday. So take that airport out of the mix, and you get delays and cancellations that will ripple across the country. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Well, with the winter weather woes hitting home, those who are unhoused are even more at risk. The Floyd County Homeless Shelter is working to get more people out of the cold this weekend, encouraging those without access to a warm house to reach out as soon as possible. Though the space can only offer a bed and meals to a little more than 12 people, it also works with other agencies to find shelter for as many people as it can, and board members say now is the time to make the call.
Don't wait for the weather to hit when it's hard to get there, when it's last minute. If you think you're in a situation where if it gets down 0 or below 0, that you would be in crisis.
If you or someone you know in the Floyd County area is in need of shelter from the cold, you can call the House of Hope at 606-949-2018 or check our website for a warming station near you. We're continuously adding to that list. When July's flood ravaged the community of Buckhorn in Perry County, the Buckhorn Volunteer Fire Department did not have the equipment needed to rescue folks. But thanks to the generosity of other servicemen and women and their departments, they do now. For nearly 5 months, the Buckhorn Volunteer Fire Department has been receiving donations of clothes and equipment from other departments across the Commonwealth and beyond. And today, the department received a rescue truck from Lincoln County Sheriff's Office Sergeant and volunteer firefighter Michael Mullins.
Well, the brotherhood runs deep where I'm from, and that's all it really is. It was the right thing to do to give them something to be proud of and kind of give back to them. But the biggest message, if I had to ask anyone to take anything out of this whole project, is that no matter whether you're from Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Northern or Central, we're all Kentuckians at the end of the day, and that shouldn't be all that matters. We have to help each other out.
Buckhorn Volunteer Fire Department Chief Robert Amos says because of people like Mullins, the department can give folks in the area peace of mind knowing they can be there to help with whatever situation comes their way. Coming up as First and 4 continues, if you're last-minute shopping for Christmas gifts, you might be in luck.
Plus, showers returned to the region as a winter weather advisory was issued earlier today. That full first alert forecast coming up.